drop the divers in with the scooters, and then they will generally do an immediate descent down to the wrecks.
Once in the water, Rob hangs inverted and takes a few moments to adjust his gear and wait for the other divers to catch up. And soon, they're flying along at approximately 3 miles per hour, which may not sound fast, but for a normally slow and cumbersome diver, this is exhilarating speed.
I've been at FWC for approximately 23 years, and I recognize that boats are, screaming by dive flags, and they're not paying attention to what they're doing. The number of registered boaters in the state of Florida are topping over a little over 1 million right now. So people can actually go out and purchase a boat and not know anything about dive flags. Well, if you see a dive flag, the first thing you do is you kind of slow down to try to find out where the divers are at. And you have to make sure that you're at least about 300 feet away from the diver's down flag. That flag could be on the boat or it could be in the water. A few years ago, I was doing an expo, and when I asked the question to all the divers, how many close calls were there? Just about everybody in the room raised their hand.
100 feet below the surface, flying along with the aid of special scooters, Rob Murphy and the Speargun Hunter team have come upon a shipwreck. Rob drops down for a closer look and soon spears a hogfish that darts beneath the jagged hull. He manages to pull the hogfish clear of the wreck. To avoid the danger of exciting any sharks, he will now attach a float to the fish to send it to the surface, where the boat crew will retrieve it. The ocean has gone from rough to downright nasty and potentially dangerous. Getting back aboard is no easy feat. But only moments later, Sherry Day gets her wish. 2 crew members have each speared a Dorado, also known as a dolphin or mahi-mahi. They yell to Sherry that another is still cruising the area, and Sherry jumps in with no snorkel and no weight belt in 8-foot seas, drops down 40 feet, and nails it. But these fish are famous for tying divers in knots. And with 2 Dorado now careening in every direction, Sherry is in danger of becoming entangled. And as predicted, the situation turns into total chaos, with a tangled mess of lines, fish, and guns all pulling in opposite directions. Sherry carefully extracts her fish from the mess and heads to the boat with one of the best eating fish in the sea. An exhausted Sherry Day climbs back aboard.
That was crazy. These guys were yelling for us to get in. He had a mahi that was hooked. The other mahis had to stay with him. When you have one, sure enough, there's another nice big mahi. I had no snorkel, no weight, nothing. I just jumped in and went for it. That was fun.
We're trying to get on this dolphin. I get to you. I'm looking down. All I see is pandemonium. I see a fish shot. I see lines and guns tangled everywhere. I see you with a loaded gun. I see another dolphin spiraling around that one. So you dive, I dive with you. Put an shot on it, stone it, and then you know what breaks loose. And it just goes completely crazy.
Yeah.
But talk about, is this living? Rob, is this living?
This is living. Everybody should live like this. Shark Field experience with some amazing people, and Sherry is my hero, the best diver I've ever seen.
With one hogfish and a few nice Dorado for the cooler, Rob Murphy and the Speargun Hunter team head for the next drop, where it's amberjack rodeo time at 100 feet. Rob is taking the Speargun Hunter team on a ride they're sure to remember. The first drop proved productive. A nice hogfish for Rob and a beautiful Dorado for Sherry Day. But the sea is throwing a fit, blurring that fine line between safety and danger. The Speargun Hunter team is moving now to the next dive spot. A series of wrecks and structures littering the bottom. Watching the seas, Sherry Day seems a little skeptical.
Every time producer Robin Burke asks me to do a shoot for Speargun Hunter, it's always like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. If you look out here, we're rolling around in 6 to 8 foot seas, and down on the bottom, we're zipping around, and if that wasn't like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, I don't know what was.
I feel like Superman. I feel like a fighter pilot. You can ride high with the good visibility and spot fish and then dive bomb down on them and take the shot. There's just opens up a world of possibilities. You can go against the current, into the current. You can do big sweeping patterns, east-west, back and forth. It truly does feel like a fighter pilot. It feels like you're flying.
Any current here? Actually, very little current, not even a knot.
The winds are now gusting to 30 knots, and as skipper John Dickinson gives the nod, the team makes the decision to go for it. But getting in the water in these conditions is no easy task.
Hold on, big wave, hold on. This is a little bit crazy.
There's that extra pressure on my scooter from this line being dragged. It's okay. It's all right.
As they launch themselves off the boat, the divers will try to descend as quickly as possible. The surface may be chaos, but 100 feet below them, the water is as calm as a lake. The divers group up, and we follow Rob over the remains of a large shipwreck. Rob inspects every nook and cranny for a hiding grouper, but so far, nobody is home. So he skirts around the edge of the wreck, and suddenly, a flash of silver catches his eye in mid-water. A good-sized amberjack is curious and comes within range. And Rob plants what seems to be a perfect shot on the AJ. The fish seems totally stunned for a moment. And then, as AJs often do, it roars back to life and takes Rob for a ride. Amberjack are known for arm-busting battles with fishermen and spearfishermen alike. They're not called the mule of the sea for nothing. Sometimes you just have to hang on and let them wear themselves out. As the fish slows down, Rob brings it closer and closer to him, finally getting a solid grip on it. To avoid attracting sharks, he attaches a lift bag and sends it to the surface.
Woo! Look at this AJ, baby!
Yeah!
That's what I'm talking about. Sweet!
Rob Murphy flashes a smile that says it all. He and Sherry are making a safety stop at 20 feet as precaution against the bends. And overhead, the welcome sound of the boat arriving to pick up the divers.
I hope that my story can serve as an inspiration to handicapped people everywhere, that your life is not over and that there is wonderful prosthetic technology and great doctors available to you, and that they've helped me return to the water.